The massive men lead lives of quiet desperation. Henry David Thoreau, most men don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they can't stop performing. They don't build to live. They build to be seen building. They don't train to get strong. They train to look disciplined. They don't work to get free. They work to look busy. They don't create to express truth. They create to collect approval. That's the audience trap. And it's a modern disease. The internet turned life into a stage. Suddenly, everything needs proof. If it's not posted, it didn't happen. If nobody reacts, it didn't matter. And if nobody claps, you start questioning your direction. So men start living like this. They do something good and immediately look for witnesses. They chase the feeling of being validated more than the results. They become addicted to being perceived. They don't even realize it, but they're building a life that depends on attention to feel real. That's why the life without an audience hits so hard, because it's the moment you realize the crowd never pays your bills. The crowd never saves your body. The crowd never fixes your mind. The crowd never builds your future. The crowd just watches, and watching is cheap. Most men secretly fear anonymity. Not because they love the spotlight, but because without it, they have to face one question. If nobody sees me, will I still do the work? That's where the truth is. That's where discipline gets exposed. This episode is about crossing that line. The moment you stop chasing visibility and start chasing reality. The moment you stop negotiating with your ego and start building a life that actually holds you. Because the real flex isn't being seen. The real flex is being consistent when nobody's looking. Let's be honest. The audience doesn't just distract you. It rewires you. When you build for attention, you start choosing what looks good instead of what works. You start picking goals you can show, not goals you need. You start optimizing for reactions, not results. And that changes your character. You become impatient because attention is instant. You post a workout, you want praise now. You post a plan, you want respect now. You post a new chapter, you want admiration now. But real progress doesn't work on that timeline. Real progress is boring. It's quiet, it's repetitive. It's months of nothing happening publicly while everything changes privately. The audience makes men skip that phase. Because the silent phase feels like death to the ego. No comments, no likes, no, bro, you're killing it. Just you and the work. That's why so many men start and stop. They don't want results, they want reassurance. And here's the ugly part. The audience also makes you fake. You start curating your life to look stronger than it is. You hide the weekdays. You hide the confusion. You hide the messy middle. You turn growth into marketing. Then you wake up one day with a personal brand and no personal foundation. This is why the man who evolves in anonymous mode becomes dangerous in a calm way. He's not distracted by perception. He's not controlled by praise. He's not crushed by criticism. He's building something real, and real things don't need constant announcements. You don't need to be witnessed to be valid. You need to be consistent to be free. A life without an audience is not a life without people. It's a life without performance. It's the moment you stop turning everything into content. You stop narrating your growth. You stop posting every step like you need permission to keep going. You stop announcing your discipline like discipline is a personality trait instead of a standard. You start doing the work because it's who you are now. This is where your habits get clean. You train because you respect your body, not because you want someone to be impressed. You save money because you want options, not because you want to look rich. You study because you want competence, not because you want to sound smart. You build because you want a future that doesn't depend on luck. And suddenly you feel something most men never feel: peace. Not comfort, peace. Comfort is what you chase when you're avoiding your life. Peace is what shows up when your life is aligned. The audience steals peace because it keeps you self-conscious, always checking the room, always thinking about how you're perceived, always calculating, always comparing, always adjusting. Anonymous growth removes all of that. It forces you to stand on your own standards. And when your standards become internal, you stop being weak to the outside world. Praise doesn't inflate you. Criticism doesn't destroy you. You become stable. That's the point. Not to become cold, to become stable. Here's what happens when you stop performing. You start seeing who you really are. Without the audience, there's no costume. There's no narrative. There's no I'm that guy. There's just reality. Your sleep, your habits, your money, your discipline, your excuses, your fears, your consistency. And this is where men either grow or collapse, because it's easy to look strong when you're being watched. It's easy to be motivated when you're getting praise. It's easy to talk like a winner when you're not being tested. But the man who can handle anonymity, he's rare. He can go months building quietly without needing a dopamine reward from other people's attention. That kind of man becomes unstoppable, not because he's superhuman, but because he's no longer split in half. There's no public self and private self. It's one man. And when you become one man, you move faster. Not in a frantic way, in a clean way, because you stop leaking energy into proving. You stop leaking money into image. You stop leaking time into comparison. You stop leaking focus into noise. This is where your finances start to stabilize too. Because a man addicted to being seen spends like an actor. A man building quietly spends like an architect. Different mindset, different outcomes. And the irony? The moment you stop chasing visibility is usually the moment you become worth noticing. So here's the truth. The audience is not your enemy. Your need for it is. You can still share your life. You can still inspire people. You can still post your wins, but you can't need it. Because the moment you need the crowd, you become its employee. A life without an audience is the moment you get your sovereignty back. You start building for the man you want to be, not the image you want people to believe. You stop posting your intentions and start stacking proof. You stop asking the world to validate your direction and start validating it through repetition. That's what evolution looks like in real life. Quiet, unsexy, unpopular, effective. And yeah, you'll lose some people when you go silent. That's fine. Many were never connected to you. They were connected to your availability, your entertainment, your usefulness. When you stop performing, they disappear. That's not loneliness. That's filtration. If you want comfort, applause, and a life built for other people's eyes, don't follow inside out. If you want to build something real, in silence, until the results speak for you, stay. Now answer this honestly. Are you building a life you can live or a life you can show?